Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 40. Growl. As I stood on top of the deck by the railing, leaning my head back to look at the moon upside down, when the little yellow Pegasus walks toward me. I had seen her talking with the captain and thought she was all right, so I guess I could talk to her if she wants. She, like most of the ponies, thought I'd get along with. Mostly because she's quiet. I don't like loud things. It's why the captain put me in charge of the Romac. They're quiet. They were strong. They know what it means to be still, not like a yapping etch. I had worked with him for 7 years, and never once did he shut up. Still, sometimes he was good company, and in the mines as a slave you take what you can get. We were treated considerably better than the pony slaves, as well as a number of Griffin slaves I had seen before we were sent to the jungle border. After all, we were still diamond dogs. I never understood why the Alphas hated the other races so much. When I asked why, he didn't just hire them and pay some gems instead of making them slaves and having to guard them. He grabbed my tongue and threatened to cut it off. My father was not the most lenient of dogs. That's right, I forgot to mention. My father was the former Alpha before he got killed anyway. He was so disappointed that I didn't have the same trait. Sure, I was taller than the other pups, but I was nowhere near Alpha level. He spoke with nothing but disdain for me. It's his damn fault I wasn't born like that, not mine. Anyway, just because I don't talk much doesn't mean I'm stupid. I'm a thinker. It's just when thinkers in diamond dog packs tend to get in trouble. You're supposed to leave the thinking to the Alphas, which I was not. Then again, I partly am. I am, but I am not. Too confusing. The Pegasus came closer, very slowly, very quietly, hoping not to disturb me. I'll just let her do what she likes.
Hello?
She asked carefully. I blew out through my mouth, the vapor turning into a cloud in the cold night air above the sea. She backed away slightly, timid little thing. I let myself slide into a sitting position against the railing. Seeing that as her invitation, she approached and sat down next to me. We both sat there for what felt like an hour before I finally spoke up. You don't have to sit there if you don't want to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I bothering you?
She asked, hoping I wasn't offended. No, not at all. It's just you don't need to spare any concern for me.
Oh, well, okay.
We simply sat there for several more minutes, gazing off into nowhere. She began to sing softly to herself. However, with my ears, I was of course able to hear it. After all, we diamond dogs have much better hearing than ponies, and considering my father was an alpha, I had inherited that trait more strongly.
The meadowlarks sing, the bells start to ring, the beat of my heart, the painter is art, the winds and the clouds whisper none too loud of nature's secret joy. The rabbits prance, the gazelles dance, the fish which swim, and on a whim I join their song, and all along the whole world plays its symphony, but only to those who lend their ear. It says to open eyes and see that Mother is here and nothing's to fear.
She finished, and gave a sigh to herself. That was very beautiful. She practically jumped.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She stammered. Hear it? My ears can hear the flap of a butterfly's wings. And do not be sorry. I enjoyed it. Far too often we rush through the world, and we forget to be part of it. When I said that, she suddenly came to realize something. What it was, I did not know. But she moved closer herself to me. She didn't even flinch when I brought up my arm to run my claws through her mane.
I hope you weren't offended, but the way you spoke before, it gives the impression that you're...
Uneducated? I know. For a long time I have spoken that way. I am an abnormal diamond dog, a thinker. Thinking is not what is appreciated among the packs. although loyalty to the pack leader, unquestioningly doing what you are told. I speak in broken sentences to give the illusion that I am stupid, so that I fit in. Although I no longer must speak that way, it has become a force of habit for me.
That must be awful.
She looked at me with those big blue eyes, which felt like they bored into the very soul, while at the same time not intruding at all. It's strange. I wanted to be an artist. I would find myself absent-mindedly forming things from clay, drawing paintings, if I could. Of course, I was supposed to just dig for gems, but I always found a way to put a little bit of artistic flair in that drab cave. I also wanted to leave and see the surface world. Oh, Father had a fit when he found out. I gave a low laugh, and she smiled sweetly. I gently moved my arm and pulled the little pony closer to me.
I was supposed to grow up and handle the weather. All Pegasus are supposed to help with the weather, but I couldn't fly to save my life. Literally. I fell off a cloud one day and all the way to the ground, where I was saved by a swarm of butterflies. Imagine everybody's surprise when they found out that, as a Pegasus, my special talent was helping animals which lived on the ground. Of course, my parents couldn't have been prouder and helped me settle into my ground life right away. But the others, well, were supposed to fly and help with the weather, but I didn't. So I guess that made me a little separate from them. It was okay because I was shy anyway, and they would always tease me because of that. My animal friends never tease. Well, except Angel Bunny, but he's a bit different than normal.
She explained, a little sad, and a little shy, although a lot more open than when I had first seen her. Tease? A sweet and kind pony like you? Who would dream of doing such a thing? She blushed slightly. Suddenly, it wasn't so cold out here anymore. Well, it was a summer ocean breeze after all. I slid all the way down, so I was laying on the deck, and she blushed a bit before laying down beside me. We each curled ourselves up to conserve warmth, our backs to each other, kindred spirits, before she nodded off to sleep. I noticed the butterflies on her flank, and her gentle snoring inaudible to anyone else. Flap of a butterfly's wings indeed.